Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Washington Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been paying attention to the NFL offseason, you already know that there's no such thing as a true offseason, especially for a team like the Washington Commanders. While the games aren't happening, the rumblings, the rumors, the strategic moves, they're all ongoing. And I mean, if you're a die-hard fan of this team, you know that the excitement never really dies down, right? It's a constant chess match, a roller coaster of speculation, and every piece of news could be the next big move that defines the team's future. Right now, we're in that critical phase where the team is out in Ashburn, working through the final stretch of the offseason program, specifically the mandatory minicamp, the last step in Phase 3 of their offseason training. This is where the coaches evaluate players for the first time in this environment, and it's more than just a workout. It's a strategic assessment of who's ready to step up, who's ready to contribute, and who might be on the trade block or might be targeted in the draft. And when you talk about the Commanders, it's always a mix of optimism and anticipation. Fans are eager to see how new additions, draft picks, and even some familiar faces will shape the roster heading into the 2024 season. Now, let's talk about the draft. This is where the Commanders really like to make their mark. They've been targeting players who can make an immediate impact, especially on the offensive line and in the secondary. One name that's been floated around is offensive tackle Josh Kennerly Jr., a guy with incredible size, athleticism, and potential to become a cornerstone on Washington's offensive line. The team clearly sees the importance of protecting their quarterback and establishing a dominant run game, and Kennerly fits that mold perfectly. But it's not just about the draft picks. The team has also been looking at the trade market, trying to find those difference makers who can elevate the roster instantly. And speaking of trades, here's where things get really interesting. Rumors are swirling about a potential move involving a prominent player who might be on his way out of Buffalo, James Cook. Now I know what some of you are thinking, wait, James Cook, the Bills running back. Yes, that's right. And it's not just a random rumor, it's coming from reputable sources, including analyst Dave Holcomb from SI's Fantasy Sports. Holcomb recently suggested that Cook could be a perfect fit for Washington, especially if he becomes the preferred option in the backfield. And honestly, when you consider the offensive talent Washington has amassed, quarterback Jaden Daniels coming off a stellar season, wide receiver Deebo Samuel pairing up with Terry McLaurin and Noah Brown, we're talking about an offense that could be downright terrifying for defenses. Imagine that for a second. The Commanders already finished last season with the 5th best scoring offense in the NFL. They were on the cusp of being a top-tier attack last year, and with the addition of Laramie Tunsil at left tackle, they've strengthened the offensive line significantly. Samuel's chemistry with the quarterback is only getting better, and young receivers like Jalen Lane out of Virginia Tech are promising prospects. Now, if they add James Cook, a player who has shown flashes of brilliance and the ability to lead the league in rushing touchdowns, that could push this offense even further, making it one of the most potent in the league. But of course, there are questions. What would the Bills want in return? How much would Washington need to give up? Remember, the Bills have a rookie running back, Jacare Krosky-Merritt, under contract through 2026, which means they might not be in a hurry to part ways, especially if they see Cook as a key piece for their future. The question is whether Washington is willing to make that move, to pay the price, and to clear the roster space needed for a player like Cook to step in and be a centerpiece of the offense. Now, I want to pause here for a second. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUB algorithm to keep recommending the latest Washington Commanders news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Because folks, this is not just about filling a roster spot. It's about strategic upgrades, about taking that next step, and about finally putting together an offense that can truly compete with the best in the league. The Commanders have been building this team piece by piece, and they're clearly aiming for more than just a playoff appearance. They want to make a statement, to contend deeply, and to give their fans hope that a Super Bowl run is not just a dream but a real possibility. And let's not forget the bigger picture here. The NFC East, as always, is shaping up to be a battleground. The Eagles, Cowboys, Giants, they're all making moves, and Washington has to answer back. Adding a player like James Cook could give them that extra edge, that spark that sets them apart from the division rivals. It's about creating a balanced attack, a team that can strike quickly and consistently, and that can adapt to whatever defenses throw at them. The NFC East has been known for its gritty, physical style of play, but the Commanders are now trying to evolve into a team that can beat you with both power and finesse. Looking deeper into this, the coaching staff is also emphasizing growth. The second-year players are expected to take that leap, and new schemes are being installed to maximize their strengths. Defensive coordinator Jack Del Rio is working tirelessly to tighten up the secondary, which was somewhat inconsistent last year, and the addition of promising young players in the draft and free agency is all part of that plan. Meanwhile, the offensive coaches are focusing on expanding the playbook, making the most of Daniel's arm talent and the versatile skills of Samuel and Brown. It's all about creating mismatches and keeping opponents guessing. Now, for the fans, this is what makes the offseason so exciting. Every move, every rumor, every new face coming in or going out has a ripple effect. It's like a giant puzzle, and the Commanders are carefully putting their pieces together, aiming for that perfect picture. A team capable of challenging for the NFC title, a team that can finally bring the Lombardi Trophy back to DC after so many years. And with the NFL becoming more competitive than ever, it's clear that no team can afford to stand still. They have to be aggressive, strategic, and forward-thinking. And speaking of forward-thinking, the team's front office isn't just looking at 2024, they're planning for the future. The contract situations, the draft capital, the cap space, everything is being analyzed with a long-term vision. Extending players like Cook, or even making bold trades, could be part of that plan to build a sustainable contender. The goal is not just to have a good season, but to establish a winning culture that lasts for years. So, as fans, what do you think about all this? Are the Commanders in a position to make that leap? Do you believe they're ready to make a splash in the trade market, or are they going to rely on their draft picks and internal development? I want to hear your thoughts. Drop your comments below and tell me what moves you're most excited about. Remember, the NFL offseason is a marathon, not a sprint, and every day brings new updates, new rumors, and new reasons to be excited about Washington's future. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Washington Commanders. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Washington Commanders news. Whether it's the latest rumors, draft analysis, or free agent signings, we're here to keep you in the loop. Thanks for tuning in, and let's keep the passion alive as we look forward to an exciting season ahead.